All right, guys, welcome back to the Move with Dr. Mike class. Today, we have gotten a lot of feedback on the mobility session that we did last time. And so today we are gonna also go over some stretches that are gonna be helpful for you. So these are great in particular for if you're dealing with hip pain, if you're dealing with low back pain, if you do a lot of sitting in the office or in your vehicle. These are going to be extremely helpful for you. We're going to take you through a series of about 8 different stretches that you can utilize. You can use an office chair, any sort of chair that's going to be stationary, preferably. And we're going to take you through a series and go through various repetitions with each of these. And I want to be sure to follow up towards the end to see which one of these stretches is your favorite. So why don't we go ahead and jump right into this. And the first stretch that we're going to get started with is focusing on the hips. And so you're going to be sitting upright in your chair, and you're going to take one knee and you're going to bring it up towards your chest. Here we're focusing on stretching the back of the glute behind the posterior hip capsule. And some people prefer to grab underneath the knee, or some people prefer to grab over the top of the knee. Doesn't really matter. We're going to try to hang out here for about 10 seconds. So you're bringing one knee up towards your chest. After you do one side, then we're going to go ahead and move over to the other side. So knee to chest, we're just mobilizing those hips. They are often stuck in one position when we're sitting for long periods. And so if we can bring our knee to our chest and help flex the hip, this tends to feel good for people. Okay? So we've already done one on each side. We're going to go through that one more time. Focus on alternating. We're shooting for 10 seconds. You can grab underneath the knee. Bring your knee as high as you can towards your chest, if possible. Just like that. And then we'll switch one more time to the other side. All right, very good. Now we're going to get into a seated hamstring stretch. This is honestly one of my favorite things to do, especially if I'm sitting a lot because my hamstrings get very stiff. And I'm going to turn my chair so you guys can see what's going on from the side. But I'm going to try my best to sit at the edge of the chair. And the side that I want to stretch, I'm going to put it out in front of me. So nice and extended there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to sit up nice and tall. So we sit tall. And you're going to basically lean forward by bending at the hips and hinging at the hips is what we call it. I don't want to do what you would traditionally see, a hamstring stretch where you just round your back. I really want you to focus on sitting up nice and tall and you're feeling a stretch all the way behind the leg there. So that is stretching the calves and the hamstrings. Some of us that may have been dealing with any sort of sciatica or nerve pain might be sensitive if you go too far, so only go to wherever your body will allow you to go. But we're going to pulsate for 10 reps. So what that's going to look like is you're going to lean into that tension and then you're going to lean back. And I kind of like to guide with my hands as close to my leg. And we're going to do 10 pulsating reps where we're just leaning forward and back. And we're stretching the back of the hamstring and we're bending at the hip. We're not rounding our lower back. Really be strict about this here. And the other leg is just, as you notice, just propped on the side for support. Coming up on 10 reps, we're getting there. Let's do a few more there. Okay, relax, go ahead and shake it out. We're going to switch to the other side now. So the leg goes out extended in front of you. You can exacerbate that stretch or increase the intensity by bringing your toes up. Okay, so dorsiflex the ankle. Now we're bending at the hip, we're reaching forward, and we're pulsating. We're going to do 10 reps. We're hinging at the hips, reaching as far as we can with our hands, stretching the hamstrings, loosening up the hamstrings and the glutes here. 3, 4, 5, 6. Sit up nice and tall and go as slow as you need to go. I know stretching sometimes can be tough, especially if you're doing this in the morning, but we're just loosening up that tension, loosening up the muscles. All right, very good. I'll go ahead and turn my chair again to face you guys. We're going to move on to the pigeon stretch, or as we know it, Piriformis Stretch. You're going to fold one leg over the top, okay? We have the opposite hand here pushing down with the knee here. So you're using the forearm and the hand to just gently push the knee downward as my legs are in this figure 4 position. Now, if I want to intensify that stretch, I can just lean forward by bending at the hips, and you're going to feel a lot of this stretch on the back of the hips here. Okay, we're going to hang out here for 10 seconds. Take some deep breaths. Make sure we're sitting up nice and tall. We're not rounding like this. Try your best. Good. After 10 seconds, we can go ahead and switch to the other side. And you're going to find, which is very typical, that one side is tighter than the other. Use that forearm and that hand to push downward. If you can, lean forward. 10 seconds is what we're shooting for. Very good, guys. And we're going to do that one more time each side. Back into this figure 4 or pigeon stretch. Fold the leg over. Sit up nice and tall. Use that forearm and hand to push downward. And we're leaning forward, exposing the back of that hip. Really checking in with yourself to see, am I tight on one side more than the other? Which allows you to be specific about how much time you want to spend on that side. Which means, like, if my right hip is tighter than my left, I might, on my own time, spend a minute to improve that flexibility there. Now we're going to switch to the other side one more time. Fold that knee over, use the forearm in the hand, sit up nice and tall and lean forward. This feels really good. My right side is always the stiff side for me, so this is definitely a stretch that I have to stay on top of. All right, very good. We're going to move into stretching out our hips, our hip flexors. These are some of the muscles of the front of the hip that attach to the lower back. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to now stagger my body so that I am able to drop one leg down at the side. So my front leg is going out in front on the side of the chair, okay? And the opposite leg is going to go extended down. So notice I'm trying my best to get my knee in line with my hip, okay? If I have a backrest, this is going to be fantastic. If you don't, that's okay. But you're basically going to use that backrest for support. Now with the leg that is down, I'm taking the same arm and I'm reaching up overhead. I'm getting a lengthening of the lats, lengthening of the side of the trunk, our obliques, and most importantly, I'm getting good lengthening out of the hip flexors. So we're going to hang out here for about 10 seconds again, where you're thinking about reaching up to the ceiling, stretching and lengthening the entire spine, and feeling elongation of the body. So you're dropping the knee down as you reach up towards the ceiling. Feels amazing with this stretch. Great way to loosen up the hips, especially if you're sitting in a chair. Okay, we'll go ahead and work on the other side. So now you're going to rotate. I'm going to turn my body into the chair. I'm dropping the knee down. This front leg goes in front. I'm taking the same arm going straight overhead and thinking about pushing that knee down as I'm lengthening and reaching up towards the ceiling. With all of these, we should still be focusing on breathing into the nose, out through the mouth. You guys are doing great. Hope you're enjoying this mobility session. Let's do one more time. Gonna rotate it. Drop the knee down. Take the same arm. Reach up towards the ceiling. Really reach, reach, reach. Keep the arm straight and lengthen the spine. Open up the hips. Feel the stretch down the front of the hip there. Very good. And we're gonna switch one more time here. Reach up. We're gonna go 10 seconds here. This is the last time with this stretch. And good. All right. Now we're going to move on to loosening up the spine and the shoulders. Okay. So you're going to sit at the edge of the chair. And what we're going to do is we're trying to incorporate some nice rotation of the upper spine. Instead of us being in this position where we're slumped over on our computers and our phones, where we're flexed, we are working on now getting some rotation and some extension of the upper spine. So if I want to work on rotation to the right, I'm going to set up my left elbow just inside my thigh. With the opposite hand, I'm going to look up towards the ceiling and I'm going to rotate upward, just like so. So you're looking at your hand, and we're going to try about 3 on each side so you can spend a few seconds on one side. Then we're going to rotate. Inside of the forearm goes on the inside of the leg. Rotate upward, reach, 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 just like that. And you're only spending a few seconds because we're going to do 3 reps on each side. And we're just incorporate some nice rotation there of the upper spine. Very good. We'll do one more. Very good. Now for this position, we're going to take it a little further. And now, instead of going with that rotation with the elbow, let's see if you can reach towards the ground and reach towards the foot. So very similar motion, except now instead of the forearm, you're just reaching towards the foot. We're just going to do 2 reps of this, back and forth. Reach towards the foot, rotate. We're going to do 2 on each side. Okay, very good. All right, moving on to focusing on the lower back muscles. We have a large muscle on each side of the lower back there that attaches to the pelvis. We call that our quadratus lumborum, and what we're going to do is focus on lengthening that side, especially if you're someone that deals with low back stiffness or pain. So what we're going to do, this is going to be helpful if you can support yourself. On one side, you're going to take the trunk and you're going to lateral bend, side bend, reaching and rotating to one side. So you're side bending, you're going to feel the stretch all down the side of the trunk. If you have an armrest, you can hold on to that armrest as well, because now you're focusing on this side. We're going to go 10 seconds on one side, and then you're going to focus on the other side. So support yourself here. Hand goes behind the head. Think about pointing the elbow up, and you're side bending to one side. And if you're doing this correctly, you should feel the stretch on the side of the trunk and in the lower back, okay? Take some deep breaths. Focus on breathing in the area that you're trying to stretch. That tends to help release some tension there. Let's go ahead and do that one more time. Support yourself here. Hand goes behind the head. Think about pointing the elbow upward and you're side bending. We're not rotating. We stay strictly in this plane and side bend. You can even let the other hand kind of sag down towards the ground if you wanted, almost as if you're reaching towards the ground. Sometimes that helps people remind them to bend in the right direction. All right, very good. I'm going to rotate the chair once again to show you the next stretch. Now this is by far one of my favorite ones for the inner thighs. These muscles get very tight, often from sitting. And so here I'm going to basically separate my feet and get a nice wide base of support so I have good support of my feet. And once again, I'm sitting at the edge of the chair. Now if you're at home, you can actually do this on a bench, and to level up this exercise, you can actually hold some weight or maybe a small object in front of you, which is going to help with us leaning forward. If you don't have any objects or weights at home, that's totally okay, because I'm going to do this unweighted, but it just shows you with all of these exercises, there's ways that we can make them more challenging. So we're going to call this a seated good morning. And what I'm going to do is focus on really bending at my hips, and I'm letting my hands go down towards the ground, keeping my chest nice and tall. If you do this correctly, you're going to feel the inner thigh muscles. You're going to feel a lot of tension there. And once you run out of room for motion, you're going to go all the way back, sit up nice and tall, okay? Once again, feet are planted in the ground for support. We're going to try 3 of these. Bend at the hips, go nice and slow. Reach those hands straight down, feeling a stretch on the inner thigh. Let's see how far you can go. If you want to reach out in front of you to get a greater stretch, you can. But honestly, for me, this is just enough. If you had a dumbbell or a kettlebell, like I said, this can be something that you hold here and you work on slowly leaning your body forward. The weight is going to just fold you forward. Bend at the hips, and then sit up nice and tall. And you're going to also feel those glutes working quite a bit there. Okay. All right. We just have one more stretch for today. We did this last time in our chair yoga class. So if you haven't checked out that class, make sure to go back and take a look at that. But this is one of my favorite yoga poses. And I like this supported because often many people with yoga have a hard time due to instability and balance getting in these positions, but with the chair, it's very feasible for many people. So what I'm going to do is basically take my left leg and I'm pointing the foot outward in this direction. Okay, my knee is bent on the left leg. Now with the right leg, I'm going to extend it out to the side. So I'm at the edge of my chair for support, but this leg is extended out to the side, and notice that my foot is facing forward. So my left foot is facing out in this direction, but my right foot is facing forward. What I'm going to do is now I'm going to start to rotate, turn my trunk, and I'm going to reach my arms up and overhead. I'm going to feel an immediate stretch down the front of the hip, down the side. I might even feel some in the growing area and even in the trunk. So we're going to hang out here for 10 seconds. We're working on lengthening the spine. This is very similar to the one we started off with. It's just small variation here. Focus on reaching up, up, up. Lengthen the spine. And then you can give yourself a break. We're going to go to the other side. Foot goes out to the side. We're pointing in this direction. That opposite leg is now going to be as straight as possible with the foot facing forward. Once again, I'm turning my trunk, getting some rotation, opening up the trunk, reaching up towards the ceiling, stretching those hips out, feeling the lengthening of the hip flexors there. Hang out here for another 10 seconds. You guys are doing great. All right, we're going to do this one more time. Go and switch to the other side. Widen up that stance. If you want to get a greater stretch, you can just separate your feet even further with this here. If you want to make this even more challenging, take your body away from the chair and try working on this standing without any support. That's obviously going to challenge your balance more, but I'm going to stay supported just because I want to show you guys how we can still get a great stretch even though we're using a chair for support. There's nothing wrong with a little bit of support there, okay? All right, last time on the other side, widen up that stance. Bring that leg out to the side. Rotate, reach up towards the ceiling, lengthen the spine. This is our last one here, 10 seconds. Alrighty, there you have it, guys. Some of my favorite stretches that you can easily perform to help ease any low back pain, hip pain, or if you just sit for a great amount of time. Hope you guys enjoy this mobility session, and we will see you in the next one.